12:05 a.m., April 15th, 1912. 25 minutes since the collision, the ship is visibly settling by the bow. The forward well deck, where passengers played with ice chunks 40 minutes ago, is approaching the waterline. Water is creeping up the deck, slow but inexorable, but most passengers still don't believe the danger is real. Lifeboats are being uncovered, crew removing canvas covers, swinging the davits out over the side. The boats dangle 70 feet above the black water. Officers are calling throughout the ship, but the boat deck is sparsely populated. Most passengers are still in their cabins or in the public rooms, warm, comfortable, safe feeling. Those who are on deck are bundled in coats over night clothes. Life belts strapped awkwardly over everything, the cork vests bulky, uncomfortable, making movement difficult. The temperature is 28 degrees Fahrenheit, below freezing. Breath visible in the air, faces stinging from the cold. The stars are brilliant. No moon, it's the new moon, so the sky is darker than usual. But crystal clear, thousands of stars visible. The Milky Way a bright band across the sky. The sea is absolutely calm. Like a mill pond, no waves, no swell, just flat black water stretching to the horizon, reflecting the stars, beautiful, eerie, perfect. I'm Keith Conrad, this is Sidequests, and today the final 2 hours and 40 minutes of the RMS Titanic, the evacuation, the separations, the humanity and horror of watching a ship die while 1,500 people remain aboard. Most passengers still don't believe the danger is real. The ship looks solid, the lights are burning. Everything feels normal. Why would they abandon a warm, comfortable ship to sit in a small wooden boat 70 feet above dark, freezing water? Only one lifeboat has launched so far, Boat 7 with just 28 people. Capacity 65, 37 empty seats. The math is brutal. The ship has 2,208 people aboard. The lifeboats hold 1,178. Even if every boat launches at full capacity, which they won't, over 1,000 people are already doomed by mathematics alone. Thomas Andrews, the ship's designer, walks the boat deck. His face shows the strain, the knowledge, the guilt. He understands what's coming. On the deck, the band assembles. Orders came down, play music on deck, keep passengers calm. 8 musicians, Wallace Hartley conducting. They begin playing ragtime, cheerful, distracting, incongruous on a dying ship. The effect works. Passengers are calmed. Some even dance. If the band is playing, how serious can this be? Just a precaution. Just an inconvenience, but it's not, and the band knows it. They'll play for 2 hours straight. As the ship tilts more, as the water rises, as desperation grows, they'll play hymns toward the end, their fingers numb from cold, instruments going out of tune in the freezing air. 1:30 a.m., 90 minutes since impact. More boats are launching, half empty, passengers reluctant. But now separations are happening, families being divided, goodbyes being said. Isidore and Ida Strauss, married 41 years, wealthy, devoted to each other. An officer offers Ida a place in a lifeboat. She refuses. "Where you go, I go," she tells her husband. The officer offers Isidore a place too. No one would object to an elderly man accompanying his wife. But Isidore refuses to leave before the other men. He helps Ida give her fur coat to their maid, Ellen Bird, who's crying as she enters the boat. Then Isidore and Ida walk to a pair of deck chairs. They sit together, side by side. Isidore takes Ida's hand, and they wait. That's the last time anyone sees them alive, sitting together, holding hands, the water rising toward them. Benjamin Guggenheim, wealthy mining magnate, bon vivant, makes a different choice after helping his mistress into a lifeboat. He returns to his cabin, emerges 30 minutes later dressed in evening clothes, white tie, tails, immaculate. He explains to his steward, "We've dressed up in our best and are prepared to go down like gentlemen." He spends his final moments in the smoking room, drinking brandy, smoking cigars, waiting with dignity. Wealth couldn't save him. Money is irrelevant when the ocean is rising, but dignity, that was his to control. He chose to die well. 1 a.m. The ship's bow is visibly underwater. The angle is noticeable now, maybe 5 to 10 degrees. Walking becomes difficult. Objects roll across decks. In cabins, pictures slide off walls. Passengers are noticing. Finally, undeniably, the ship is sinking. Panic is beginning. Not chaos yet, but starting. Crowds thicken on the boat deck. People who dismissed the danger 90 minutes ago are now desperate to board lifeboats.
I heard a cry from below of, "Any more ladies?" and looking over the edge of the deck saw boat 13 swinging level with the rail of B deck. The call for ladies was repeated twice again, but apparently there were none to be found. Just then, one of the crew looked up and saw me looking over. "Any ladies on your deck?" he said. "No," I replied. "Then you had better jump." Lawrence Beasley, second-class passenger.
But there's another horror developing below decks. Third-class passengers are trapped. Not deliberately, but structurally. Third class is located far from the boat deck, a labyrinth of corridors, staircases, passages. Even English speakers have difficulty finding the way. It's enormous. 882 feet long, 9 decks, hundreds of corridors. Language barriers compound the problem. Orders are shouted in English, but passengers speak Swedish, Italian, Arabic, Chinese, Croatian, Irish, Lebanese, Finnish. Dozens of languages. Orders not understood, destinations unknown. Some third-class passengers make it. They push through, find open gates, navigate the maze. They reach the boat deck. They survive, but many don't. They get lost. They turn back to cabins for belongings. Precious time wasted. They die below, trapped, confused, unable to find the way. The statistics are brutal. Third-class survival rate, 25%, 3/4 died. Compared to first class, 63% survived. Less than half died. It's not deliberate discrimination. It's geography, it's information, it's layout, it's language. But the result is the same. The poor died, the rich survived at dramatically different rates. 2 a.m., 2 hours, and 20 minutes since collision. The bow is completely underwater. The angle is severe, maybe 20 degrees. Walking is climbing, standing is difficult. The stern is rising visibly now. The propellers, 3 massive bronze propellers, each weighing tons, are approaching the surface. Most lifeboats are gone. 16 standard boats have launched. Only the 4 collapsible boats remain, and there are still over 1,000 people aboard. Second Officer Charles Lightoller supervises the loading on the port side. His interpretation of women and children first is absolute. Women and children only. No men, not under any circumstances. Men accept this. Remarkably, they stand back. Don't rush, don't panic. Honor the code even when it means death. But it also means wasted capacity, empty spaces, boats launching with 20 or 30 people when they could hold 65. Mathematics of desperation.
Milton Long and I had been standing by the starboard rail, about abreast of the second funnel. We shook hands, wished each other luck. I said, "Go ahead. I'll be right with you." He climbed over the rail, sliding down facing the ship. 10 seconds later, I sat on the rail. I faced out, and with a push of my arms and hands, jumped into the water as far out from the ship as I could. I never saw Long again. His body was later recovered. Jack Thayer, first-class passenger.
Thayer jumps far from the ship, swims, finds collapsible B, overturned, floating upside down, climbs aboard. 30 men will spend the night balanced on that overturned boat. Many will die. Thayer will survive. He never sees Milton Long again. 2:18 a.m., the bow pulls down. The stern rises straight up, vertical, nearly perpendicular to the ocean. The propellers high in the air, the rudder exposed. Hundreds of people are at the stern, the highest point, climbing, clinging, trying to stay above the rising water. Assistant Purser Frank Prentice helped passengers into boats, but was now fending for himself.
And I thought, well, now I'll go up and get out of all this scrumming and go on the poop deck. And there were about 4 of us up there. And whilst I was up there, we sent up these lights, rockets, which burst up very high in the sky, and then you could see our boats spread out all over the place. And I had that in mind somehow. And Ricks went, and Kieran went. And I was there by myself then, thinking, and all of a sudden she lifted up quickly, and you could hear everything crashing through her. everything that was movable was going through them. And then she went down and seemed to come up again. So I thought, well, now I'm going to leave. And I was hanging on to a board. We had 2 boards, starboard and port, which said, keep clear of propeller blades. And I was hanging on to one of these, and I was getting higher and higher in the air. And I thought, well, now I'll go. And I dropped in. I had a lifeboat on. And I hit the water with a terrific crack. Luckily, I didn't hit anything when I dropped in. There were bodies all over the place.
Some jump, fall into darkness, screaming. The stress is impossible. The ship can't hold together. Metal tears, rivets pop. The ship breaks in 2. The forward section, the bow and middle, sinks immediately, taking hundreds with it, pulled under, gone. The stern bobs. For a moment, there's false hope. Maybe it will float. Maybe rescue is still possible, but no. The stern is damaged. Water pours through the massive rupture. The aft compartments flood. It's only minutes now. The stern pauses. Vertical, suspended. 882 feet of steel standing on end against the stars. 2:20 a.m. exactly. Titanic vanishes. 2 hours and 40 minutes since the collision. From the lifeboat's survivors watch. The ship is gone. Where lights had been blazing, darkness. Where music had been playing, silence. Where 2,200 souls had been gathered, just empty ocean. And then the screams, 1,500 people in the water, temperature 28 degrees Fahrenheit, survival time 15 to 30 minutes before hypothermia kills you. The screams are piercing, terrible, unforgettable. Different languages, English, Swedish, Italian, Chinese, Arabic, Irish, Norwegian. But the terror is universal. The desperation is the same. The dying is the same. In the lifeboats, officers and passengers debate whether to return. Most refuse. Fear of being swamped. Fear of being pulled under. Fear of dying themselves. Only one officer returns. 5th Officer Harold Lowe. He rows back toward the screaming. He finds mostly corpses, frozen, drowned. He rescues perhaps 4 or 5 people, maybe fewer. Most are already gone. The screams continue for 20 to 30 minutes, then gradually fade. One by one, voices stop. People die. Hypothermia, drowning, heart stopping, lungs filling with water. The silence is worse than the screams. The silence means everyone is dead. No one left. 1,500 people gone. The ocean is calm again, silent. As if nothing happened. 706 survivors wait in lifeboats. Cold, traumatized, waiting for rescue, waiting for dawn. They survived. Over 1,500 didn't, but the story of who survived and who died isn't random. Class determined survival. Wealth determined survival. Children of first-class passengers survived. Children of third-class passengers died. The ship's structure, the language barriers, the locked gates, the confusion, all combined to favor the rich and doom the poor. In the premium episode, you'll hear the full details. The personal stories of those who died choosing to face death with dignity. The heroism of the engineers who stayed below keeping the lights burning until the water overwhelmed them. The band playing to the very end. The children, 52 of them, and why so many died. The crew's impossible choices. The bitter debates about who bears responsibility. You'll hear from survivors, from those who lived and carried the guilt forever. Why did I survive when they died? And you'll hear from those who died, their final moments, their choices, their courage or desperation or resignation. Next time on Sidequests, the rescue, the RMS Carpathia arriving at dawn, picking up survivors from lifeboats, the voyage to New York, the world learning, the inquiries beginning. The Titanic sank in 2 hours and 40 minutes. The investigation would take years, the questions would last forever.